Oh man, it's here. It's here. Do you guys even know? This was maybe the hardest thing to track down for this whole build, our pipe for the pond. And I'll explain that here in a little bit. But look, this is 20 feet long, 2 tubes. Check this out. I've got a legit Kansas City manhole cover. And I've got some other, that's the most expensive piece right there. Let's get this out. Let's start our next phase of the aviary build. Here we go. In 2020, we started building the aviary. We had a simple design sketched out of a coop and a pond and fencing. We started by building the deck that the coop would be built on. It was a 20 by 20 foot structure for our birds to take shelter in and lay their eggs in. At the end of that year, we built the coop as a family, putting up the walls, the trusses, the roof, and even some rough sawn lumber for siding. We finished the inside of it, and we installed the outer poles to later add the fencing around. But we found a lot of issues with fencing companies not taking our big project seriously. And with supply issues from the pandemic, it took us over a year to finally get the fencing delivered from the UK. Now in mid-2022, we've been waiting on an excavator to start on the next phase of our aviary. And now they are finally here to help us get started on the biggest project we've ever taken on for our birds. This is an exciting day. We've got an excavator here. We're finally able to take the next steps towards our aviary. About 4 months ago, we got all of this stuff shipped in. That was fun to get off. And we weren't able to make any progress because we needed some help. We needed some big equipment because we needed to dig the outer part of this aviary down about a foot, to keep predators out, to keep the fencing down. We needed to dig this pond out further. And then we needed to dig a trench because we want to have a drain just in case something happens. And over time, it's not a long-term solution, but it's a temporary solution to make sure that we have clean water all the time for our ducks and our other birds. So finally, after about 2.5 years, we're able to take the first steps in closing in this aviary. You guys want to see the progress so far? Oh, this is exciting. Check out our trench to drain the pond. Oh, that is 3 feet deep from the bottom to the top. There's a bunch of butterflies in here. It was about 50 or 60 feet all the way back to our ditch back here. This ditch goes down to a creek all the way down here. So I think everything will kind of spread out around the hill and then some will pour down that way. But this is amazing. I am walking in this ditch right over to the pond. We've got our drainage pipe right over here all ready to go. I've already got the connections on them. And so the pond, the last thing that they've got to finish up, I think they're going to come back either later today or tomorrow. And so it's bigger. It's about the same depth that it was though. So I had them close in a little bit of an area over here, but I want them to drop all the sides and make it a sharper drop into the pond. And then we'll be able to get our pond liner on and get moving on the next steps with the pond. And then he went all the way around the outside, a foot deep, and I think he went a little deeper. He might have even gone 18 inches deep. I'll be able to start marking this soon, and this will allow me to mark where each of our posts will go, and then our solid fencing will go between each one. And so I can mark all the posts, we'll concrete in each post, and then we'll connect the fence. We'll put in our 2 gates, our walk-through gates, and when that is all done, then we can bury that up, and then the outside will be complete. This is our 8-inch butterfly valve. This one part cost about $600. So we're basically gonna have this like a manhole cover, be able to reach down 3 feet. And then right now we've got this little deal, and then it opens up, ouch, the water to allow it to flow out. But I need a different piece because it all goes to one side. I need it to be more balanced from side to side so it fits down the middle of this hole. And then this will go in between the 2 pipes. All right, so that's my drainage ditch. So I need to bring the pipes right down into here. Now I've got the 2 pipes in. I'm gonna go down here in between. Look at kitties. All right, so we've got the pipe in place. We've got the butterfly valve here. So ideally, I'd just be able to stick this on right here and then open and close the valve. But it's gonna be 3 feet down to the ground. And then I'm also gonna have this tube over it right here. So I needed something that would come out of the ground about 3, 4, 5 feet out. And so my uncle is a handy welder, and so he made me an extension tool. I've already cut out a big opening for our 8-inch pipe on there. So then that's gonna be down there. This is basically gonna be ground level. And then we're gonna have this piece right here. This is like a normal sewage drain cover. So this will be on top of the next spot, and this one's pretty heavy. So this is what it'll look like. The ground level will be right here. And so all we're gonna see is this part right here, and then we'll see down the tube. Everything else here, this is all gonna be filled in with dirt here. This week, they're gonna come with a skid steer and cover it up. We're gonna move all the dirt around. All I have left to do is I gotta go get a couple more 8-inch pipes that are 20 feet long. I've gotta get a couple of them because I'm still about 30 feet from the ditch to go down to the creek. So I'm gonna go get that tomorrow. That part's ready. As soon as that's done, they can come fill in the ditch, and then I can start to measure this pond so I can get a pond tarp ordered, so I can start to hold water in here. So to do that, I'm gonna need to open up all the equipment up here because I need to figure out what all I have, what I need to spread out, and start putting the fence posts out, things like that. Start to mark where they go, and then we'll be able to start on that maybe later this week, early next week. Let's go. Come on, Mazza.
We're down to 1 working teat. We're getting about a half a gallon a day. Mazla has been kind of a pain. She doesn't want to be in here anymore. So I think she's kind of done with milking.
So we've modified our milker to just have one little pump on it so it doesn't weigh down and I don't have to put it on the other teats. All right, so I got this area all cleaned up yesterday, so now we're ready to open up all of our packages, try to figure out what we have, get it organized, and then I need to look at the plans, get the posts out, and start to mark where all of the posts are gonna go to make this outer fence. That'll be the first step as soon as we get all of this dirt moved around on the inside of the fence. You gonna help me?
Yeah.
Let's open them all. We'll open them all up, bud. I got some scissors and stuff. Let's just put all the plastic, let's put it in the back of the car here. Be careful with this stuff, like this is like some keys and different things, so we gotta.
Yeah.
Can you send me some spray paint? What is that? That's cool. That's gonna go right over the middle post, and these will go over each of the other posts. That's awesome. Cable. So these are supposed to look like that, perfect octagon. This one got a little destroyed during shipping. We'll have to see if we can fix that one. That stinks. Hopefully we can fix that. It's gonna be tough to get it over the pole.
Somebody did this.
Can you cut it?
I can't.
All right, well that took some effort. We've got all of these huge posts here. They've got to weigh a couple 100 pounds. They're gonna be for our gate that's right there. It's like a big drive-through gate for larger vehicles, and then we're gonna have a walk-through gate, which I think is some of this equipment, plus they're underneath there. I think our only casualty so far is this one piece here that's a little bent out of shape. I'll see if I can hammer that in. I think we'll be all right and won't have to have a new part made. So over here we've got all of our cabling. That's gonna be from the middle to different spots, whole bunch of extra cable, little parts, screws, bolts. This is gonna go from each pole, like this one right here is for our center pole. And so it's got a little piece that sticks out that goes to each pole, and that's where the cable will connect from the middle to all the outer poles. That'll be fun when we get to do that. This big box over here, this will be like probably the last thing we do on this whole thing. So I'll probably have to take it out soon because this box is kind of deteriorating under the weather. But this is our netting. Our netting for over top. We've got the fencing on the outside and we've got the netting to go over the top. And so we've got a ton of outer fencing. This is gonna go all the way around. I'm not quite sure what this stuff does. This might be somewhere around the walk-through gate. I'll have to figure it out because it's a little bit different dimensions. Is that hard work?
Yeah.
Thanks for your help, bud.
No problem.
Appreciate it. All right, well, we've got all this unloaded. I think this is what I'll be using as my post that I'll attach all of the fencing to. So that's probably what I'll be putting in the ground first, but I'm gonna double check all of the plans. Last thing we're gonna do before starting to put that in is to mark all the spaces where that's gonna go. So I'm gonna go check the plans and we'll get started on that. All right, there's one last thing I can do right now. I'm kind of being held up by two things. One, our excavator guys that are working on the pond, the ditch, the outer ditch, I need them to come and move the dirt away from the pond, and I need them to cover up the pipe. And they're having issues with their skid steer, so hopefully they're gonna come sometime in the next week. But they need to move all of this dirt right here so we can get that out of the way. We can get this ditch filled up, and then the only thing left that they've uncovered is the outer circle, the outer ring, and that's where I'm gonna put in the fencing. And so if they get that all moved around, I'll be good here. Second thing is I need exact measurements. The company that built all these supplies for me for the aviary, I don't have exact measurements. I've got some diagrams of what it's supposed to look like, but they don't have exact measurements. And so while I know these panels, these outer panels are 8 feet wide by 8 feet tall, I don't know exactly if I'm going 8 feet to 8 feet plus all of the posts. Plus I have these posts out here that are 3 inches by 1 inch, and I don't know exactly how they're supposed to fit into that if it's just 8 feet between posts. So I need them to send me a diagram with exact measurements so I know when I start putting in those posts and I start putting in the 2 gates that I've got everything in the right place when I do that. But for now I'm going to try to measure 8 feet all the way around, and I think that will be all of my posts and then my walk-through gate, and then I believe the big gate I think is twice that width, so I think it's maybe 16 feet. And so I'm going to roughly go off that and see if that comes out about right. So check out over here, I'm in the little foot ditch that we built. We've got some paw prints from a predator. It's like a raccoon probably walking through here. So that's why we're building this, to protect our birds, because besides we don't want them flying off, we don't want predators to get them, and this is why we're building this a foot and a half underground. So one post is going right on the edge of this, our pipe here, our ditch, and so it's going right on the edge of there. I'm gonna have to watch to make sure that doesn't get covered up. But that's good, that'll be right off to the side of that. So once they fill that in, it's another reason they have to get this filled in first. Once that's filled in, then I can put my posts and fence up here, because otherwise I put that over and they may have a hard time getting the dirt in there. I made it all the way around and I ended up with 46 marks for our posts, which I think actually is gonna be correct, because if I take away 3, 1 for the walk-through gate, 2 for the big drive-through gate, that'll get me down to 43, and I think that's what I'm supposed to have, is 43 fence posts and then the 2 gates. So that's it for this part of the aviary build. So next step, hopefully we'll have some fence posts up. Looking forward to it. What are you opening?
The treasure.
So we've been getting mail from you guys over the past month or so, and so we're gonna open up a few letters and a couple big packages here. Hi. Here's a card from the Lukes. From Washington.
From Washington.
Good job. Thank you guys. Ooh, that's fun.
Bucky, Clover, and Timmy.
Thanks for Blake from Australia. This is from Linux from Canada. This is from Noel from California.
Very cute. All right, we've got a letter from Joanna from Florida.
With bamboo.
She loves bamboo, that's right. Thank you, Joanna.
This is from Bailey in Kansas City.
And what'd she say in her letter?
She said she has 3 chickens.
Awesome, thanks, Bailey.
This is from Andrew from California.
Ooh, what'd he say?
He wanted to know if Dove was still laying eggs, and she is. She's from our original flock.
She's the first egg we ever got.
Yes, and she's still laying eggs. She is how old?
She is 6 years old.
Thanks, Andrew.
This is from Lacey.
There's some Disney.
From Tennessee. Sent us some pictures, said she's 8, almost 9. Oh, let's see, she asked if we're gonna get a horse, yes. Oh, and she found us by hatching out Pekin ducks.
Thank you, Lacey. This is from Kaya from Avada.
Got a picture of a chicken.
Thank you, Kaya. Wow.
Ooh, Maestro soaps. This is fun.
This is from Paul in the Maestro Soap Company. Thank you so much for sending some soaps. They're gorgeous.
Smell the watermelon. This one's addressed to all the boys. Let's see what we got here. I'm betting that's for Isabella.
Looky there.
Thank you, Autumn from Michigan. She sent the boys and Isabella a bunch of toys for them to enjoy.
Got Spider-Man Legos for Isaiah. Oh, Batman Lego. Is that Legos? Batman Legos. Uriah here. And then what do you got?
I got Mario, Super Mario Legos.
Whoa, that's fun.
Thanks, Autumn. Thanks, Autumn. Thanks, Autumn.
Yay!
Thanks, guys, for all the mail. We'll see you next time.